but it's the other ones that'll do. I get the privilege to squash cow horns, smile, and wave for the glory of God. And Earl can preach, and the Karonkos can preach. Chief required is the guy who knows how to do this needs to come. So when we get over there, I want to explain to the chief, do you know how much power you have? That you can request, or America. You have to pray for that chief, for him to open his village, his villages, because he's a sectional chief, to not just somebody to preach the gospel. It's one thing to have the Karonkos. They joke about each other, about how, what your color is, okay? That's them. But to have a white American village, that alone is not. And the reason I say we need to pray is because what could happen to that chief, even though he's a chief, for opening up his village to the gospel? I can tell you in the Quran, there is the chances of him being killed are really good, because that's the Quran. That's the justice of Allah. And for hundreds of years, these people have never been willing to hear the gospel. And it's not like there's cell phones. It's not like you get together and you live in your village. That's where you'll be born. That's where you'll die. For me, it was, I look at it and say, maybe I don't understand everything. Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe all those things. But you look at the opportunity to share the gospel in a way that may, not just may, but will have eternal significance, and you say, wow, let's get on the plane tomorrow. Now, I can tell you that my kids, if you ask Frankstown Park, how do you feel about your pastor going to Sierra Leone? They'll shake their head, yes, and say, but that's not what we'd want. My kids, are you really sure about this, Dad? You get the whole thing, right? And I'm thinking, you know what, at 76, how many times do you get the opportunity to do something like that? So I'm thankful. Thank you for the opportunity to share. The issue is, David says, when he's been delivered, the Lord is the horn of my salvation. There's a whole world behind that, not only of power, but of all that has come from a simple cow horn that can change people's lives because of that, hearing the gospel. So that's the long and short of it. And thank you for the opportunity to share. There is, just because I need to show you, Michelle has put these out on the table in the hall. And it says, Bridges to Unreached People. And on the back, you'll just see some of the simple items that we're just going to teach them how to make. For me to think there's a group of people who are 1,000 years behind. Now, could they catch up within the next couple months? Absolutely. But right now, that's the kind of thing that they could actually use, and they have the material to do it. They just don't know how to do it. So anyhow, you can pick one of those up, take it home, and look at it, and whatever God leads you to do, Earl and I will be thankful. I can tell you that right now, unless everything else changes, God has provided. What actually it would take to do this has come in. So we're thankful. And if you want to help in any of those ways. So